Assalamu alaikum. Esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good morning to you all. My name is Abdullah Mubarak Al-Thani. I'm the Communications and Public Relations Manager at QNRF. Ala. I'll be your Master of Ceremony today. We'll be starting with a brief video from the QNCC safety procedure that will give us all the needed information in case of any emergency.
Welcome to the Qatar National Convention Center. Your safety and comfort are very important to us. With this in mind, we ask that you take a moment to watch this short safety presentation. Emergency exits are located throughout the venue and are easily identified by illuminated green and white exit signs. Please now take a moment to locate your nearest emergency exit. Remember, the nearest exit may be located behind you. For your safety, please keep all aisles and exit paths clear at all times. In the unlikely event of an emergency alarm, a flashing warning light will be activated. Please remain calm and listen for further instructions. If you are required to evacuate the building, an announcement will be made in both English and Arabic. In the event of an emergency evacuation, please move swiftly to the nearest emergency exit. Some venues, such as the theatre and Auditorium, have illuminated escape path lighting to guide you to the nearest emergency exits. Please follow the instructions given by the fully trained QNCC staff and move quickly to the nearest emergency exit, following the signs until you are outside the building. Once outside, you will be directed to the nearest assembly point where you will receive further instructions. If you discover a fire, please raise the alarm using a manual call point. This will immediately activate the emergency evacuation sequence. All alarms will be responded to by the QNCC team. If you require first aid assistance, please approach a member of the QNCC team. QNCC is a non-smoking venue, and smoking is not permitted at any time in any part of the venue. Should you wish to smoke, please use the designated smoking areas which are located outside the building. Thank you for watching. On behalf of all of us at Qatar National Convention Center, we hope you enjoy a safe and memorable visit.
I hope you found that interesting. Inshallah, we'll not need it today. It brings me great honor to welcome you to the 11th edition of the QNRF Annual Forum. And this event has been a platform for sharing QNRF's progress and new initiatives and exciting announcements. So on that note, I'd like to ask Dr. Abdel Sattar Al-Tai to come to the stage to give his opening words.
Thank you, Sheikh Abdullah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Distinguished guests, colleagues, our online audience, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to QNRF's 11th Annual Forum, an event we cherish to hold every year as it provides an excellent platform for Qatar's RDI community to network and to learn about QNRF's initiatives, programs, future directions. Moreover, like every year, the forum will end up with the grand finale by announcing the outcome of some of the QNRF's major funding calls completed this year. Ladies and gentlemen, over the past 13 years, QNRF has been serving as the main driver of research in Qatar. Indeed, through our various funding programs and initiatives, we have helped build a significant human capacity in research at all levels, in all sectors in Qatar, amounting to over 1,200 key investigators, 1,000 postdocs, 750 graduate students, 4,000 undergraduate students, 960 research associates, and around 2,500 research assistants and lab technicians. Moreover, QNRF has also played a major role in establishing the foundation of the physical research infrastructure in Qatar. Also, across these 13 years, QNRF has been working meticulously to move the value chain of research from input to output, then to outcome and impact, whether it will be technological, societal, environmental, cultural, etc. In terms of output, we have witnessed a steady surge of scientific publication, both in quantity and quality, reaching to a total of more than 8,200 publications, including journal publications, conference papers, and books chapters. Through our funding programs, we have paved the way for our local researchers to collaborate with their peers coming from more than 650 renowned international institutions from more than 50 countries in the world. In this regard, QNRF takes special pride that our funding has helped our national university to win the most international university award in succession and secure respectful position in the World University ranking. In terms of outcome, as you will discover later, a reasonable portion of QNRF-funded projects have produced various forms of IPRs, including invention disclosures, patents, copyrights, etc. In terms of impact, many of our funded projects have produced impressive success stories tackling health, economical, environmental, and technological issues, which in turn have led to the generation of some promising innovative solutions, software, national specifications, and public policies. These unwavering efforts have led to the establishment of Qatar as a hub of international research, collaboration, and the recognition of QNRF as a highly respected funding agency globally. Esteemed guests, as I pledged during the annual forum last year, at the level of our competitive funding programs, we have continued to expand QNRF's portfolio of calls, diversifying their themes and focus areas, and as you will hear from some of our speakers this morning. Moreover, we have widened our collaboration with local international partners to address the country's strategic challenges and the niche areas where Qatar has a comparative advantage, such as food security, carbon mitigation and utilization, smart manufacturing, precision medicine, and educational challenges. Similarly, on the capacity building front, in addition to our well-established portfolio of programs spanning from the K-12, Europe, GESRA, PEDRA, and last but not least, our flagship capacity building QRLP. QNRF inaugurated earlier this year the STEM Hub facility in collaboration with Texas A&M University at Qatar to promote STEM education at the school level. Moreover, we have recently launched a new initiative titled High School Research Experience Program, or HESREP, to take the K-12 research to a higher level by providing a hands-on research experience for high school students under the mentorship of faculty members at local academic institutions. Moreover, QNRF also launched the first cycle of the Early Career Research Award, ECRA, to help early career researchers acquire research management experience and launch them to the path of successful research careers. Similarly, we have recently launched the Research Exchange and Mobility Program, RAMP, which will help local researchers and students get training and polish their skills at internationally renowned institutions to build their research skills. With regards to QNRF commitment to develop the research culture and create synergy across Qatar Foundation, we are working diligently with Qatar National Library to deploy necessary platforms and tools for research data management. This will help researchers organize, preserve, and reuse the data sets generated from QNRF-funded projects more efficiently. Also, I am pleased to announce that our colleagues at QF IT team, they have recently successfully migrated the Q Grant suite of web applications, the famous Q Grant, as well as QNRF website from the on-premise data centers to Microsoft Azure cloud platform, which can handle now increased traffic and accommodate growing storage needs without affecting performance. Ladies and gentlemen, looking forward to our business plan next year. QNRF will be working closely with both lead PIs and our colleagues at the IDKT at Qatar Foundation RDI to expedite the filling of the IRPs generated from QNRF-funded projects and to take them to higher tier levels, from bench to pilot or from bench to bed, to find their way to implementation and deployment. Similarly, we will expand our partnership with stakeholders in Qatar and other partners outside Qatar to address Qatar National Vision 2030 and the Qatar National Development Plans, the 5-year plans, and the upcoming, inshallah, QRDI strategy and enhance Qatar's global reputation in RDI and achieve leadership in new niche areas where we have comparative advantage. On the IT front, QNRF will work diligently with Qatar Foundation IT team to revamp the Q Grant system, following a successful migration to the cloud by using latest IT solutions and softwares to make it further efficient and user-friendly. Equally important, QNRF will be working on the development of Research Knowledge Management Framework, RKMS, to enhance and establish an efficient and effective process for maintaining, analyzing, leveraging, and protecting the collective research knowledge generated, including the intellectual capital. Finally, QNRF is working currently to reinstate its very popular newsletter, Research Matters, because it does matter, in order to reach out to research community and public and disseminate to them on a regular basis the success stories and achievements and impact of the research conducted in Qatar. Ladies and gentlemen, while sharing our achievements and plans for the coming years, I must acknowledge the important role played by the local research community, stakeholders, and end users from industry in collaborating with us and co-funding our research efforts. Their collaboration helped add insight, provide context, and most importantly of all, deliver tangible impact. In closing, I would like to express my sincere gratitude and appreciation to the visionary leadership and the great support provided by Her Highness Sheikh Moza bint Nasser, Chairperson of Qatar Foundation, and Her Excellency Sheikh Hind bint Hamad Al Thani, Vice Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of Qatar Foundation. My special thanks are due to all QNRF staff for their tireless efforts, perseverance, and professionalism. I would also like to thank our colleagues at QF IT, QF Finance, QF Legal, QF Audit, IDKT, and QRDI Council for their continued collaboration and support. In closing, I would like to call on all the research, development, and innovation community in Qatar to work hands in hand as one big team to meet the nation's pursuit for self-sufficiency, sustainability, and long-term prosperity, to reflect His Highness Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani's message. Qatar deserves the best from all of us. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you, Dr. Abdel Sattar. Ladies and gentlemen, as Dr. Abdel Sattar stated in his speech, QNRF is committed to encourage researchers to pursue topics that create tangible impact and help Qatar meet its future objectives and goals. To delve more into the outcome and impact of QNRF-funded programs, I would like to ask Dr. Hisham Saber, QNRF's Director Technical, to the stage.
Thanks, Sheikh Abdullah. Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Morning, everyone. Following from Dr. Abdel Sattar's speech, or part of speech that talked to the impact of our funded research, I'm here to talk to you about a recent survey that we conducted on the impact of our funded research. Why do a survey? First of all, this is a follow-up from a survey that we did 2 years ago, 2017, and it stands to reason that we do a further one to benchmark against the first one and see how far that we've developed since then. Surveys in general serve to account for public spending, measure the impact of QNRF and its awardees, help identify gaps, analyze trends, and adjust course. They also support advocacy for funding. This is a slide to show the general value chain of research from input, researchers, knowledge, infrastructure, funding, and so forth, activities by way of research activity, outputs, outcomes further down the line, and hopefully further down the line still, impact, which is the subject of our speech today. This is just a small slide on the input to the survey. The sample size, which is the finished MPRP projects, 803 of them. We surveyed the LPIs of these projects. Target sample is 803. 281 responded, that's 35%. While this is statistically acceptable, we would have loved to see more response than this. And in this regard, I urge you to please be more responsive with QNRF when we ask for feedbacks and surveys and so forth. It does help, and it's in our mutual benefit and interest. A word of health warning first. Sorry, I shouldn't move from the podium. I used to be a lecturer, so I used to move. A word of health warning first. This is a survey, and the results that you will see is the result of that survey. Surveys indicate the perception and reflection of those who are surveyed. So they are indicative of the reality rather than a precision measure of them. And please keep that in mind. The real value of surveys is in the relative value that we show rather than the absolute ones. With that in mind, I'll first go through new features that we introduced in this survey as opposed to the last one. In this survey, we introduced a Likert scale, a 5-point scale, from the very low to the very high. And we associated a score to each scale point to facilitate numerical analysis, as you will see in a moment. And we also expanded the categories of last survey with subcategories. So we surveyed the LPIs for their reflection of their impact intensity at each of the subcategory. Again, as you will see in a moment or two. These are the 10 categories that we surveyed you for, from scientific to social, economic, all the way to infrastructure. By the way, infrastructure is a new feature of this survey as opposed to the last one, but the 9 others remain intact. And for each category, you see the subcategory. Here, for example, scientific, you have methods, theory, application, and so forth. Economic, you have IP, commercialization, spin-offs, and startups. So these are the categories and their corresponding subcategories. In addition, we have two sections to the survey. The first section is the one that I discussed, the categories and the intensity of the impact. The second section, where we gave you the opportunity to tell us about the events that you organized or undertake to engage the beneficiaries. Under these 7 categories, events, press activity, collaboration, career development, and so forth. Okay. So there are 2 sections to this. Now I'll show the results of the survey and some analysis, and hopefully draw some conclusions as well. Now, please don't be put off. Daunting or menacing as this looks, it's not that complex, really. This is the result of the survey in its entirety. Okay. Here we have the categories, their corresponding subcategories, and this row represents the intensity of the impact from the very low to the very high. And these figures represent the reflection of the surveyed as to the intensity of their impact. For example, this figure represents 2% of the surveyed sample said that they had very low impact in terms of training and building, training and capacity building. To understand this left side of the slide, these are the bad figures. This represents the very low impact and low impact. The lower the figure here, the better. As opposed to the right-hand side of the slide, the higher the figures are, the better, because this represents the higher intensity of the impact. Okay? And I want to draw your attention to a particular set of results, which are these, encircled in red and green. Look at this, for example. This is the economic impact with its subcategories of IP commercialization, spin-offs, and startups. Commercialization, valorization in general. And look at the figures. They're very high, okay? Which is not good, because very high at low impact. Very low impact to low impact. By contrast and by definition, the figures on the other side, the good side, are low. This indicates that we are not commercializing our research as we should. This, while we are producing the goods. Look at the technological. This is the technology. This is the production of technology. This is the IP potential. Okay? We are producing new products, new processes, and new software. Look at the figures here. They are relatively higher than this. And in this side, the figures are lower than this. This is good. We're very good at producing the goods, the IP potential, but we're not as good in realizing our potential. Now, I understand that some of it, some factors of it, in fact, a significant part of the factors concerning the commercialization are outside the control and the reach of the researchers and their institutions. But again, this is a gap that we need to fill if the ecosystem is to move down the value chain from research to development and innovation. And hopefully we'll work together and other institutions to be able to close the gap and realize our potential. This is, again, effectively the same set of data, but zooming out. This is now on the level of categories rather than subcategories. And again, here you see the intensity of the impact from very low to very high against the categories. And I highlighted here where you have the maximum intensity of the surveyed sample. For example, these figures here are the maximum figures in each of these 4 rows, which indicates that the political, environmental, health, and cultural impact is still on the low side. Whereas the scientific, for example, is very high, which is to be expected. We all know that we're very good at producing research and other research outcome in terms of publications and other scholarly output. We know that. But in terms of the political, environmental, health, and cultural, the impact is not that good. But this is understandable because this, by very nature, these categories, by very nature, take longer for impact to precipitate. We understand the granularity differences between categories. This slide, oh, sorry, wrong direction. This slide is still the same data, but zooming out further to actually show the impact intensity for all categories. Okay? This is QNRF's impact, or your impact, in terms of the research output. And here you see that 24% of our surveyed sample said that they have very low impact across categories. 12 said that they have low impact, but look at this, 64% said that they have impact ranging from medium to very high, which is reassuring. This is a positive message. Okay? Positive as it is, it still leaves huge room for improvement. And this is the message. We're doing good, but we could do better. These are just samples of our best performing categories, scientific, technological, training, and the less performing categories in terms of the cultural, political, environmental, and I think we explained why this is the trend. The second part of the survey, those of you who filled it, will know that the opportunity was given to tell us about the events and the activities that you undertook to engage the beneficiaries, because this is very important to us, to engage the beneficiary, to engage the public, and to form alliances and networks. 88% of you told us that they organized events to engage the beneficiaries. 72 have other promotional activities, 69 collaboration, and so forth. But look at this. Spin-off companies, 7%. Again, this supports the message that we are not valorizing at the same rate of producing the IP and IP potential. This is the overall impact ranking per category, okay, from on a scale of 1 to 5. And this at a glance gives you the relative standing of each of the category. Again, here the scientific, of course, stands head and shoulder above all other impact forms. Social, not bad. Technological, and you will hear more on this from my next speaker, who will address the IP potential and how to promote activities to realize it in terms of commercialization and so forth. Training is very well. Capacity building, it's also very pronounced. Cultural, political, and so forth are not as pronounced as others for reasons that we've talked about. This is important. This is a comparison between the results of this survey and the ones that we did 2 years ago, 2019 as opposed to 2017. The blue columns are the data, the current data of this year. The red ones are the data from last survey 2 years ago. And you can see invariably in each and every category, we've precipitated more impact this year than 2 years ago. On one hand, this is to be understood, because impact is a statement of time anyway. The longer the time, the more impact you stand to precipitate. So the trend is natural, but it's also reassuring in that we are following the natural trend. Everything is in order. So it's reassuring in that regard. But it tells more than that. It says that in certain areas, the improvement impact is more than in others. And we need to look at this and analyze the trends and see how we can exploit that and help the areas, the categories that are less impactful. In conclusion, it's just a reiteration of what I discussed. 64% of our surveyed LPIs reported medium to very high, which is very reassuring, but also leaves room for employment, for improvement. Awarded projects seem to perform very well in scientific, technological, and training, capacity building. but less so in categories such as environment and cultural, for reasons of being the longevity it takes to actually generate impact in these areas are self-evident. This is important, the combined impact of IP commercialization. One of the things that we did, which we perhaps will address in the next survey, that we combined IP and commercialization in one category, which is economic. Okay? However, it must be emphasized that IP potential is much better than commercialization. We have to date, and you've heard Dr. Abdul said that we have healthy IP activities. To date, we've generated 488 IP activities from our funded projects, from IP disclosures, filing, and patents granted. So we have healthy IP activity, but not so in terms of commercialization, valorization, exploitation of the IP potential that we hold. Of course, commercialization should be a combined effort of you, the researchers, your institutions, departments like QFRDI, QSTP, and so forth. This survey also showed an increased impact in each category compared to the last one, again for reasons of impact being a statement of time, a function of time. The more time, the more impact, but it's also reassuring to see that we are on course with the natural progression of things. I mentioned at the opening of my speech that this is a survey. It's an it's indication of reality rather than a precision measure of it. And to address that, QNRF has started an exercise to study the impact of its funded research, which is evidence-based, the results of which should be more accurate, and which we will share with you the results and the findings in due course. I hope that was useful, and thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Dr. Hisham. As QNRF fosters a local culture of RDI and engages local researchers to take on projects and research that have global impact, there inevitably will be a growing need to develop sound mechanisms for upholding intellectual property laws and patent registration. To speak more on this, I would like to introduce Dr. Nafisa Shaqroon, the Intellectual Property and Innovation Program Manager at QNRF. She's an intellectual property lawyer with a specialization in patent law and technology transfer. Before joining QNRF, Dr. Shaqroon worked on Tunisian Ministry of Higher Education and Scientific Research for more than 10 years, embarking on an international career as an IP expert. As part of her extensive experience, Dr. Shaqroon led various missions for the European Commission, the German International Organization, the World Intellectual Property Organization, the United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Western Asia. Dr. Shaqroon has recently joined QNRF to support this effort in driving and enhancing our IP output. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Dr. Nafisa Shaqroon to the stage.
Good morning, everyone. Yes, I'm the IP manager at QNRF. I have recently joined QNRF, and my talk today is about ways and methods of improving IP outcomes from the QNRF funded projects. So this slide shows two main objectives that QNRF is aiming to achieve. The first objective is to maximize the return on QNRF's investment by strengthening IP mechanisms. And the second objective is that along with being a funding agency, QNRF should also be a key driver in the Qatari innovation system. This presentation will have 3 parts. So the first part I'll be speaking about the research outcome, the second part about IP outcomes, and the third part will be about suggesting proposals on how we can move forward towards a more sustainable innovation ecosystem. So this first part is, this slide, as you see, shows how QNRF has been doing really very well as a funding agency over the last 13 years. You can see a really significant number of programs that QNRF has been managing so far. QNRF has been able to launch more than 100 cycles. You have been able to submit roughly 16,000 proposals, research proposals, from which we have selected 4,000 awarded projects. And overall, QNRF is committed to more than $1.1 billion US dollars. So with this, I just want to reiterate what Dr. Abdulsattar said, that QNRF is really performing well as a funding agency. This second slide shows, we are trying to compare in this slide Qatar to the other countries in the region. We can see that Qatar is doing really very well. In terms of citation score, Qatar stands at 40% above the world average. Saudi Arabia is just doing 13% above the world average in the Gulf countries. You can see that Oman is performing not that much good, as just 7% below the world average. Kuwait is almost 22% below the world average, and the United Arab Emirates just 0.2 beyond the world average. This brings Qatar to the top, which is really very important to highlight. Yeah, it deserves this. I think so, yes. Now, if we would like to zoom on a particular field of research, we can see that in medical and health science, again, you researchers here, not QRF, you are doing very well. As we can say, we stand at 46% above world average. Engineering and technology very well as well, 45% above average. Natural science, humanities, 20%, but still good. 2 areas where QNRF will be putting much more emphasis, which are social science, and I think we are going towards this, and agriculture, as it is very important for Qatar. So my first conclusions as far as research outcomes are concerned, you can see that QNRF has succeeded in building a robust research capacity in a relatively short period of time. And here I can say that really, in comparison to Tunisia or other countries I know very well, coming from abroad, I was really impressed that in 13 years Qatar has achieved so much. So, the main outcomes so far are developing portfolio of funding programs and initiatives, building research culture, building capacity, generating scientific publications with high impact factor, developing research skills, and building international cooperations. So we've been doing very well in that side, and this brings me to the second part of my presentation, which is IP outcomes. First of all, I would like to mention that this data has been collected from QFRDI, Industry Development and Knowledge Transfer. I here highlight what Dr. Hisham said before. The IP outcome look healthy. There is for sure an activity. As you can see, we have 220 invention disclosures, 237 patent filed, and 31 patent granted. from a total of 149 awarded projects. They're mainly NPRP projects. Let's look more closely at what's going on with our invention disclosure. Here we can see that there is really a steady flow of invention disclosure over the years. This also has been confirmed from this slide that shows the patent applications filed through across different cycles of NPRP. So from NPRP 2 to NPRP 7, including EP, these projects were submitted to the national IP policy. And then from NPRP 8 till NPRP 10, these projects are submitted to the new QF IP policy. And again, you see that there is a real trend and activity is real. So the concluding remarks as regards the second part are as follow. So we can happily and certainly confirm, that there is a real dynamic of patent filing and granting. However, there is something that we should mention, because we will be working on that. The fact that patent applications were made predominantly to foreign patent offices. Out of the 237 applications, only 3 were submitted to the Qatari Patent Office. We'll elaborate on that later on, but this is a matter of fact. We needed just to mention it. And then I come to the third part of my presentation, where I'll be presenting some recommendation as way forward to a sustainable RDI ecosystem in Qatar. I'll be presenting some recommendations in the short term and others on the long term. So in the short term, I should mention that we will be at QNRF working closely with QF RDI, particularly IDKT, which is Industrial Development Knowledge Transfer. And our purpose will be, these will be activities on daily basis, right? To enhance the flow of patent disclosures and patent filing. Here we'll be still working on the quantity. We will need to stabilize the system, and then we'll move to improve quality. We will be following up with different awardees to ensure that IP potential and confidentiality of expected outcomes are preserved. Patent disclosures are of good quality, and for patent disclosures, we can already work on quality. As I said, there is a real trend. And most importantly, we would need to make these disclosures at the right time. Patent applications generated from QNRF's funded projects, we will ensure that they will be fully reported and submitted to the Qatari IP office. The reason we are putting much emphasis on that is that the Qatari Patent Office is the focal point for many international organizations, not only the World IP Organization. And the Qatari Patent Office is the organization that everybody will trust if they would like to collect data. So if we are producing IP applications, it is of paramount importance that this is reported to the Qatari Patent Office, so the Qatari Patent Office will report it to international organizations. And when we are working on very important reports like the Innovation Global Index, then the Qatari indicators will be higher. So this is why the emphasis on that point. We'll be coordinating with another department, which is very important department, the Intellectual Property Protection Department, which is under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, to further enhance the current IP legal framework as providing, for example, what we need is to, roughly speaking, what we need is to make the Qatari patent law more attractive. providing, for example, for other protection, like utility models. Utility models are IP protection. They can be used to protect technical solutions when they cannot meet or fully meet the patentability conditions. So we don't lose them. We use them and we can create startups on that basis. We also need to introduce other measures like provisional applications. They will be very, very helpful for researchers because this will help you publish. And you will not have to wait till the patent application is fully submitted. So from this regard, we'll be collaborating with the Patent Office in Qatar. Then I'll come to my last part, which is the recommendations for a long-term sustainable ecosystem in Qatar. And this is, if you want, more strategic. But remember the second objective of QNRF. QNRF is a funding organization, but not only. QNRF is stronger than that. It can play an important role collaborating with other stakeholders. So we will be collaborating with other stakeholders to enhance the technology relevance of research proposals as well as their technology readiness. We'll be building capacity of technology enablers, and particularly engineers, technicians, patent specialists, prototype developers. Will enhance the high potential prototype and technically mature concept to attract more industry partners, and most importantly, scaling up. This is what we are after because we want to capture more mature IP, which will hopefully address the issue that has been analyzed by Dr. Hisham, the commercialization issue. And with this, thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Nafisa. We will now be moving on to the announcement of the outcome for the BRIO competition. I would like to invite Noor Naimi, Program Specialist at QNRF, to the stage.
Assalamu alaikum. QNRF's best representative image of an outcome award is a competition that connects art with research outcome. The competition allows QNRF-funded researchers the opportunity to use images and visual illustration to communicate their research outcome to a wider audience. Images are judged based on scientific impact, originality, and visual effect. I would like to take this opportunity to showcase previous BRIO awarded images. This cycle, we received 19 applications. The images went through a panel to narrow down to 3 shortlisted ones. The winning image today will be featured in QNRF's publication and literature. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Aisha Abedli, Director of Capacity Building at Qatar National Research Fund, to the stage to present the award. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, BRIO's 3rd cycle award goes to Microstructure of Periodicite by Dr. Naif Al-Yafi, Texas A&M. If Dr. Naif can join us on stage. Dr. Naif, can you please join us on stage? Anyone from Texas A&M? congratulations, and we hope the next cycle will witness even more applications. Thank you so much.
Congratulations, of course, to the awardee, and thank you, Noor and Dr. Aisha. We are now moving on to a very exciting segment of the forum. I'd like to invite Rehan Zahar, Post-Award Administration Manager, to the stage to announce the Best Research Office Award.
Assalamu alaikum and good morning everybody. Welcome to our 11th annual forum. I am here like every annual forum to present the most excited news for our research offices, the award of the Best Research Office for 2019. For those who are not aware, what are we doing with the Best Research Office Award and what is the purpose of it is to recognize the research office which is adhering mostly to the QNRF policies and procedures through our funding processes. How do we do it? We award the research office with the highest average OPMS, the online performance monitoring points available on the website per awarded projects. And OPMS is always recorded on the system on the dashboard for the research offices. What is the criteria? The OPMS points, it's not only positive points, it's demerit and merit points. We give it for compliance with the award, or the pre-award, the pre-funding, and the post-award requirements. We give it for meeting the vetting deadlines, for the adherence to the ethical compliances, to project status change, and of course for these we give demerit points for suspension or termination, and for the diligence and punctuality in completing reports and documents. For this year, we calculated the points, the average points, from our last QNRF forum, which happened similar to this time. 16 institutions were shortlisted. They have projects, they have to deal with the projects from NPRP, NPRP-EP, many different QNRF funded programs, and now it will be the moment for recognizing the research office with the highest performance. Now the moment of truth, but before I will make you a little bit more tense, I will call Dr. Abdel Sattar Al-Ta'i to the stage, our Executive Director. Are you ready? Any suggestions before I move forward? So the winner for this year, our Best Research Office for 2019, the award goes to Weill Cornell Medicine Qatar. Congratulations, and I would like to call Dr. Khalid Mashaqqa, the senior Dr. Khalid Mashaqqa, the Senior Associate Dean for Research, Innovation and Commercialization to the stage to receive the gift. I would like to call the research office if they would like to come to the stage and take a picture. But please make it fast. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Well done, and see you next year with a new winner.
Thank you, Reham, and congratulations again to Well Coronel. Now I'd like to invite Dr. Sadim Johar, Joint Funding Program Manager, to announce the awardees of the third cycle of PPM.
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's my great pleasure to be here today and to be part of this very nice ceremony to announce the outcome of QNRF funding programs. And I'm going to present the outcome of the third cycle of the Path Towards Precision Medicine call, a joint call between Qatar National Research Fund and Qatar Genome Program, which is one of the fast-evolving genome programs internationally. The Path Towards Precision Medicine, or PPM, is one of many joint calls that are launched by QNRF. And they all fall under the Thematic and Grand Challenges Competitive Research Program, which is an outcome-focused program to address the priorities and needs of Qatar. In 2019, we launched 5 calls with major national and international stakeholders, as what Dr. Sattar mentioned earlier in his opening speech. The first call that we launched this year was USRA. This was the 4th cycle launched jointly with Doha International Family Institute. It awards grants that reach $50,000 for up to 1 year. And as what the name implies, it's focused on Arabic family research. The focus of the last cycle, the 4th cycle of USRA, was family cohesion, marriage and divorce, families at risk, parenthood, social policy research related to families. In the last cycle, we received 20 proposals that were submitted and vetted, out of which 7 proposals were awarded and announced last summer. The Smart Manufacturing call is another call that's launched by QNRF jointly with Tubitak, and this was the second call that we launched with Tubitak. And if you don't know, Tubitak is the major funding agency in Turkey. The call provides funds that reach $750,000 for up to 3 years. And the research focus of the call were additive manufacturing, ICT in manufacturing, production systems, organization, logistics, and supply chain, as well as sustainable manufacturing. 14 proposals were submitted, and we expect the awards to be announced very soon, as we are almost done with all the review process. The Disaster Risk Reduction and Resilience call, DR3 call, is the call that's launched in collaboration with Belmont Forum. Belmont Forum consists of a consortium of major funding agencies that are interested in topics related to global environmental change. This is actually the 3rd collaboration that we have with Belmont Forum. And this cycle, the Qatari-based team get awards that reach $750,000 for up to 3 years. And the areas were assessment and reduction of disaster risk, enhancing disaster resilience, cyber-enabled effective disaster response. 11 proposals were submitted, and the awards are going to be announced hopefully early next year. A new call that we launched this year is the Food Security Call. This is the first collaboration we have with the Ministry of Municipality and Environment to address this hot topic. The funds can reach $700,000 for up to 3 years. The topics are local food production, community initiative, policy and legislation, strengthening resilience among people and agri-food system, and supply chains. And the good news is that this topic turned to be very interesting to the researchers in Qatar and also internationally, and we received 48 submissions. The awardees are also going to be launched next year. Last but not least, our call of today, Path Towards Precision Medicine, and I'll speak about it a little bit more detailed in the coming slides. So the PPM call was designed and launched to address and advance research that provides tailored medical health care according to the individual characteristics of the patient based on his or her genetic profile. In this third cycle, we continue to capitalize on the wealth of data and samples that are generated by Qatar Genome Program and Qatar Biobank with the vision to make Qatar a pioneer in the genomic and precision medicine research. The PPM provides grants that reach $700,000 for up to 4 years with a maximum of $250,000 per year. In this third cycle of the PPM call, there have been 4 research priority areas. The first area was immunogenomic and precision immunotherapeutic approaches, clinical implementation of pharmacogenomics, multi-omics analysis of common chronic diseases like cancer, like cardiovascular diseases, like neurological diseases. Also, we had precision medicine, digital e-solutions, and applications. So, for this cycle, 25 proposals were submitted and vetted by the research offices of the submitting institution, out of which 22 proposals passed the screening stage and were sent to the peer reviewers, and these are the ones that we consider officially submitted proposals. 12 proposals, the proposals that were top scientifically meritorious proposal, were shortlisted and proceeded to the programmatic review stage. And we'll know the awarded proposal very soon. In comparison to the previous years, the PPM call was launched in 2015. In the first call, we received 26 proposals, out of which 5 were awarded with a success rate of 19%. In the second cycle, 25 proposals were submitted, and 4 were awarded with 26% success rate. The last cycle, 22 were awarded, and I believe you're all waiting to know how many, 22 were submitted, and I think you're all waiting to know how many were awarded, and I don't want to keep you waiting more. So over the third cycle of the Path Towards Precision Medicine, 5 projects were awarded with 23% success rate, which is higher than the previous year. And before we proceed with announcing the awards, I just want to highlight 2 points. That the awards that you'll see now are sorted alphabetically according to the names of the submitting institutions, and they will stay in the award pending status until compliance with the award conditions and requirements, if any. So I guess we are all ready, the big moment. The first award under the PPM third cycle goes to Hamad bin Khalifa University. By Dr. Omar Al-Bagha, and the title of the proposal is Personalized Care for Qatari Patients with Genetic Predisposition to Hypercholesterolemia, Better Prediction, Diagnosis and Management. Congratulations to Dr. Omar and HBKU. HBKU submitted 3 proposals this year. One was awarded with 33% success rate. The second proposal is from Hamad Medical Corporation. By Dr. Nidal Asad. And the title is Personalizing Therapy for Atrial Fibrillations in Qataris. Congratulations, Dr. Nidal and HMC. This year, HMC submitted 3 proposals. One was awarded with 33% success rate. We proceed now to the third awardee. It's from Sidra Medicine. And Sidra this year submitted 8 proposals. They got 2 awardees. And the success rate is 25%. And now we'll show the first proposal from Sidra. It's by Dr. Abir Fadda. The title is HLA Transcriptomics. Mabruk to Dr. Abir. The second proposal is by Dr. Amira Aqil. Mabruk. The title is QGPRS Study, Qatar Genome Polygenic Risk Score, a precision medicine approach to prevent diabetic complications in affected Qatari individuals. Congratulations to Sidra, to Dr. Amira and Dr. Aqil. Abir. Last but not least, our last award goes to Weill Cornell Medicine, Qatar, by Dr. Amal Rubai. And the title is Precision Pharmacogenomics in Qatar. Weill Cornell submitted 6 proposals. One was awarded with 17% success rate. Congratulations, Dr. Amal, to Weill Cornell. At the end, I want to say congratulations to all our awardees, their research teams. Best luck for those who didn't get awarded this time, and we wish you all the best in the second cycle and the fourth cycle of PPM and other QNRF programs. I want to thank our QNRF team and our colleagues in Qatar Genome Program for making this cycle successful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Sadim, and congratulations, of course, to all the awardees. And now, last but not least, I would like to ask Nadine Yunus, the Pre-Award Administration Manager, to the stage to announce the awardees of the QNRF flagship program and its 12th cycle, the National Priorities Research Program, the Standard Track.
Assalamu alaikum. It's my pleasure to be with you today to present the outcome of the National Priorities Research Program, the Standard Track. This is a presentation that you've been waiting for. As you may know, the NPRP, or the National Priorities Research Programs, has 2 tracks. The first one is the NPRP cluster, and we have the Standard Track. In my presentation today, I will give a very quick summary about the cluster track. Then I will go directly to the award announcement for the Standard Track. For the cluster, as you may know, the aim of this program is to support multi-institutional and multidisciplinary research to solve significant and complex problems in a holistic way. The cluster should the cluster proposals should address the cluster thematic area and the problems as defined in the request for a proposal, which is available online. You can see it. And the cluster should have multiple sub-projects. Each one of them is led by a lead principal investigator, and the cluster must be led by one project director. The grant is up to $5 million for up to 5 years. And each sub-project must not exceed $1 million US dollar. The cluster track was launched last April 2019, and the submission for the initial research proposals has closed in September 2019. The good news is that we received 25 initial research proposals distributed across all the 4 themes that were defined in the RFP. Under the carbon mitigation and utilizations, we received 8 initial research proposals, 8 IRPs. Under the towards clinical implementation of precision medicine, we received 7 IRPs. Under the cybersecurity of Qatar's critical infrastructure, 4 IRPs. And addressing Qatar's national educational challenges, 6 IRPs. Inshallah, the NPRP cluster panel will discuss these proposals with their project directors early November, and all the necessary communication will be sent to these project directors. Now, the standard track. Bear with me, just a few slides, and I will announce the result. Just a quick overview about the standard. As you know, the objective of this track is to competitively select research projects that address national priorities through supporting basic and applied research, as well as translational research or experimental development. The grant is up to $700,000 for up to 4 years, and with maximum $250K per year. The standard track covers priority themes under the 4 pillars of the Qatar National Research Strategy, namely the energy and environment pillar, biomedical and health pillar, computer science and ICT, social sciences, arts, and humanity pillars. All these priority themes are detailed in the RFP you can refer to, and it's available online. Just a quick brief to remind you about the pre-award process. The pre-award process starts with the submission by the lead principal investigators, and the application should be vetted by research office. The vetted proposal go through screening stage at QNRF procedure, and the proposal that pass screening go to the evaluation stage. The evaluation for the NPRP standard is 2-tier evaluation process. The first one, we sent the screened proposals to each proposal to 3 international peer reviewers who are expert in the field of the proposals, and then we, based on the funding recommendation of these peer reviewers and the grading of them, the scientific merit of these proposals, we do shortlisting according to QNRF procedure for shortlisting. And the shortlisted proposal will go to the second tier of the evaluation, which is the programmatic review. The programmatic review is a panel, it composed of a panel that include relevant stakeholders from Qatar and outside Qatar, as well as intellectual property specialists and ethical compliance specialists, in addition, of course, to QNRF technical team. The panel, all the criteria for the review process are in the RFP. You can always refer to them. The panel give a recommendation to QNRF, and after receiving the necessary approval, we'll do the award, and finally we announce the awards. Just for the benefit of the new awardees, I will tell you what's expected next from these awarded projects before I announce the awards. After this forum, not during the forum, after the forum, the lead PIs will receive email notifications and SMS if their mobile number is on our system, notifying them that the outcome is out. Then they can access their Q Grant accounts to see the outcome and the reviewers' comments. As you may know, the awarded projects are subject to review, and they might have conditions or budget reduction on any other conditions, and also this will be available to the lead PIs in their accounts. Within 2 weeks, the research offices and the lead PIs will receive email communications from regarding the activation of the pre-funding channel and the way forward from QNRF pre-funding team. It's very important this year to note that during the pre-funding we will have different deadlines according to the requirements for different proposals. And all of this, to expedite the process in signing the annexes and get the awards. All this will be detailed in the communication from the pre-funding team. Upon the completion and vetting of the pre-funding stage and QNRF acceptance, QNRF will sign the annexes and release the money, and at the end we'll get the grant activated. Just a few statistics before the award announcement. This statistic regarding the submissions in this cycle. We got 354 proposals were submitted to us. They went through the screening process. 334 were passed screening, 94%. And these 334 are the officially submitted for us, and this is what will be considered in our statistics later on. And we got 190 were shortlisted based on the peer review process, 57% of the reviewed proposals. Regarding the types of application, as every year, the highest number is in our new applications. We got 20% resubmissions for not awarded from last cycle, and the 3% are renewals. These are the applications that built on outcome from previously awarded MPRP grants. Just to give you idea about the average success rate, as you can see here, the average success rate in all MPRP cycles is around 23%. And we'll see today how much is our success rate. Just a quick overview on the co-funding in the submitted proposals. We received 215 proposals that they got co-funding. And from 159 research end users, 62% of them are inside Qatar. The majority of co-funding is in kind, and we received 13% of the proposals got cash co-funding. The total amount of co-funding, both cash and in kind, is around $28 million US. Now, quick numbers about the awarded and the statistics. The bottom line are the submitted numbers, and here I will give the awarded and the success rate. As I mentioned, 334 were received. 88 projects will be awarded, 26% success rate. We had 215 projects with co-funding. We will be awarding 65 of them, 74% with around $10 million US co-funding. We received 173 applications from lead PIs that they are lead PIs for the first time in QNRF, and we will be awarding 41 with 24% of the awarding. We have received 33 proposals from Qatari national lead PIs, and we will be awarding 11 with 33% of these Qatari lead PIs. We received the proposals from 19 submitting institutions. The very good news that we will be awarding 15 of them, 79% of the submitting institutions, and comparing to 8 was last cycle. Just one more slide before the details. The number of awarded projects and their success rate within each pillar. The very interesting news, the social sciences, arts and humanities got the highest success rate, 37%, were 10 awarded from 27. Followed by the energy and environment pillar to 32% success rate with 40 projects to be awarded. Then we have the biomedical and health, 22%, 19 projects, and computer science and ICT, 20%, 19 projects. Now, the moment that everybody is waiting for. 3 more things before I go. The first one, the next slides will be sorted alphabetically according to the submitting institution's name. The second one, after my presentation, we will have a rolling slides that shows the detailed awarded projects with the title, ID, and the lead PI name. And all these projects are considered award pending until compliance with award conditions and the pre-funding stage. Now, the first submitting institution awarded with us is Carnegie Mellon University in Qatar. Got one awarded project with 25% success rate. Congratulations. College of North Atlantic got one awarded projects, 100% success rate. Congratulations. Georgetown University in Qatar got one awarded project with 33% success rate. Congratulations. Gulf Organization for Research and Development GORD got 3 awarded projects with 38% success rate. Hamad bin Khalifa University got 13 awarded projects with 23% success rate. Hamad Medical Corporation got 3 awarded projects. One of them is renewal, 33% success rate. Ministry of Municipality and Environment got 1 awarded project with 100% success rate. Congratulations. Ministry of Public Health got 1 awarded project, 33% success rate. Congratulations. Northwestern University in Qatar got 2 awarded projects. One of them is renewal and 100% success rate. Qatar Share Research and Technology Center got 3 awarded projects, 100% success rate, and these are awarded for the first time with QNRF. Qatar University got 33 awarded projects, 2 of them are renewals, 22% success rate. Sidra Medicine got 3 awarded projects, 19% success rate. Congratulations. Texas A&M in Qatar got 14 awarded projects, 1 of them is renewal, 28% success rate. Congratulations. University College London, UCL Qatar got 1 awarded projects, 100% success rate. Congratulations. Last but not least, while Cornell Qatar got 8 awarded projects, 40% success rate. Congratulations. Thank you so much. Congratulations for all the awardees, and I wish all the best for the ones that didn't get it this time. I encourage them to submit to the next cycle for MPRP and for the other calls at QNRF. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nadine. Once again, congratulations to all the awardees today. Thank you for everyone for attending today, and hopefully we'll see you, inshallah, in upcoming events with QNRF. As previously mentioned by Nadine, they'll be now rolling the details of the awarded projects of the NPRPS. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.